What is selling? Well, I shared with you in the last video myth number 1. Now I want to talk to you about myth number 2. Selling is an art. The interesting thing here is that as I interviewed and worked with customers, I found that there was this big perception among the low performers. And here's what the low performers would tell me. They would tell me, I don't have time to follow a process. I don't have time to update the paperwork. I don't have time to enter in my information in the system because, you see, I need to be in front of customers because that's what I do well. You have to understand, Mr. Consultant, Mr. Trainer, selling is an art, not a science, and I am an artiste. Well, the fact is, selling is a process, and the reason you have a process is so that you can have predictable and repeatable results. Why reinvent it every time? Now here's something that's happened that's very interesting, is that for the last 80 years, we now have been using what's called the 7-step sales model. And for most companies that I've worked with or individuals, they probably are following this. Number 1 is their prospecting. Number 2, there's a pre-approach. So as they prospect and they get to the pre-approach phase, as they're getting more information about the customer or client's problem, and then they're talking about the approach. What are we going to do in pulling together the presentation or the demonstration, which of course moves to step number 4, which is the presentation. Then we go through the overcoming objections, because you have to expect that you're going to get them. So what should you or should you not say? Then there's the close, and then something new that was added, which is the follow-up. You want to make absolutely sure that the customer or client is happy with the product and service and they're actually using it and they're getting the benefits that they thought they would. Now, again, this has been used for 70, 80 years, and you're probably one, I would suspect, because that's what I've been finding. Now, also in the 20th century, something new happens. And what happens is this thing called supply and demand. And in the supply and demand is that we see more supply, less demand. So what happens within the marketplace, we now move from the what's in it for me as salespeople, and we want to understand every touch point of the client or customer's workflow. Once we understand it, then we can be more proactive in offering a product or service that we have that will help them. So we see the evolution of the customer relation management system as well as its failure. And the failure is not because of the software. The failure happened to do with the mindset of the executives of the sales team, and still today of individuals who refuse to use it because they don't understand it. But the whole idea here is understanding the customer, because there's been a shift. But what are customers saying? Here's what some of them are telling me and what I've read. I hear a lot of noise about the tough economy and revenue being down for many companies. It's not because they don't have money to spend. It's because you're selling and not adding value. It's because you're talking and not listening. It's because you don't get it. It's not about you, your company, your products, or your services. And here's what they're telling us and advising us. It's telling us that we need to meet the customer needs. They want us to add value. And here's what they say. When you start paying more attention to your customer needs than your revenue needs, you'll find you no longer have a revenue problem to complain about. That's pretty profound. So what is the action steps that you can take? Again, what are your processes? How often do your customers buy from you again? When's the last time that you asked them what they needed, not what you needed? When's the last time that you've offered a new product or a new service for your customers that meets their existing problems for their customers, not just you? So there you have it. Myth number 2, selling is an art. It's not. Selling is a process. And if you would like to get all 21 free training videos in this e-course, all you need to do is go to www.theconsultativemindset.com to get instant access. And I'll be seeing you in the next video.